Marvel fans are always looking to the future. With the third Avengers film less than a year away, the beginning of the end is near. But of course, it's not really the end, as Phase 4 is already in active development. Not much is known about the upcoming phase, so we got to wondering just what we might see in the upcoming batch of Marvel films. Before we get started, why not click on that subscribe button if you haven't already? That way you'll get all the latest content from Screen Rant every day. Can you guess what Marvel film is represented by these emojis? Stay tuned to find out. Also, stick around for the end of the video for an exclusive look at the game Vikings, War of Clans, and even score a sweet sign-up bonus through our channel. Black Widow. Black Widow is a fan favorite and has been kicking butts and taking names ever since she debuted in Iron Man 2. Despite being played by Scarlett Johansson, the former assassin turned S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and fellow Avenger has yet to get her own solo film. Seriously, what gives, Marvel? With the fourth phase confirmed after the fourth Avengers film, one has to wonder what Marvel has in store for their films in a post-Infinity War reality. Most of the stars will have reached the end of their contracts, so Marvel may be looking for new heroes to star in their own films. Where better to start off than with a Black Widow film? If anyone deserves their own film at this point in time, it's definitely Black Widow. She may not have superpowers, but that doesn't mean she's not interesting. Heck, Coulson doesn't even have superpowers and he got his own show. While we have no idea who survives and dies in the two-part Avenger bout with Thanos, we hope the Widow makes it out and starts working for herself after the battle is over. With her expert spy skills, perhaps she can be the one to uncover the new threat that will loom over everyone in Phase 4. She then can bring that intel back to base and assemble the new Avengers for action.
We're still friends, right?
Depends on how hard you hit me.
New Avengers versus Secret Avengers. If Infinity War wasn't coming out in spring of 2018, we would have said that this one could have been the next film. But in order to defeat the Mad Titan Thanos, who will likely be in possession of the Infinity Stones by the end of the third Avengers film, the team better reunite or face the consequences. By the end of Civil War, the Avengers were divided into two teams, the New Avengers, which were formed after the Age of Ultron, and Secret Avengers, led by Captain America. Depending on what happens by the end of the war with Thanos, the team may not yet be on talking terms. In fact, they may end up blaming each other for Thanos' arrival. If that were to be the case, we may end up getting an Avengers versus Avengers film, which would be released after the New Avengers and the Secret Avengers got their own films. It'd be a great way for Phase 4 to sell 3 unique Avenger films without bloating it. Of course, this plan only works if the team are still at odds by the end of Avengers 4. What do you think will happen? Will the team reunite in the end and bury the hatchet, or will they continue to be at odds going forward? Let us know in the comments.
Somebody want to deal with that bunker?
World War Hulk. This one will likely depend on how fans react to the Hulk's presence in the upcoming Thor Ragnarok, in which our favorite Smasher is featured in a supporting role. Dishing out the pain as a space gladiator, we've never been so excited to see the Hulk on the big screen. That would all change though if Marvel adapted the World War Hulk storyline into the MCU. Hulk on Earth hasn't done that well so far at the box office, but with Hulk in space, everyone seems pretty excited. Why not continue the trend in Phase 4? Hulk has been criminally underused and he's part of the reason why we can't wait for Ragnarok. After being chucked into space, Hulk returns to Earth, only this time with an army and as the chief antagonist. All that rage has to go somewhere and Hulk is out for revenge. While his motivations will have to change for a theatrical adaptation, he did exile himself after all. There's no reason why the Hulk can't come back angry at the people of Earth. It'd be great to see a hero become the villain, even if the MCU decide there is a puppet master involved. Either way, consider us very intrigued to have this storyline adapted to the big screen.
If you want to live to see another day, you'll be out of town by nightfall.
Blade. Before Hugh Jackman helped kick off the modern superhero craze with 2000's X-Men, Marvel released another film just 2 years prior that drew some attention to the superhero genre. We're of course referring to Blade. While nowhere near as popular as the characters like Wolverine, Captain America, or Spider-Man, Blade has a popular cult following and differentiates himself from other superheroes by affiliating himself with the supernatural, something Marvel has largely shied away from in their films. Back in 2013, Marvel was able to reclaim the rights for Ghost Rider, Punisher, Daredevil, and Blade. So far, all 3 have been adapted on television, with Ghost Rider appearing in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., while Daredevil and Punisher found a home at Netflix. But nothing has yet come for Blade. Marvel's not one to waste a good property, so you can expect them to do something with Blade at some point, likely in the 4th phase. Whether it's TV or a film is yet to be seen, but former Blade actor Wesley Snipes has already stated that he's ready to return if Marvel wants him, and that another film is always a possibility. Would you like to see Blade join the MCU? Let us know in the comments.
Is not meant for mortal men.
Neither was Omaha Beach, Blondie. Stop trying to scare us. Come on.
Stan Lee, Ultimate Matchmaker. If there's one thing Marvel fans want is to have every single property fall under the control of one studio. But that's not going to happen anytime soon, as some of the most beloved franchises found homes at other film studios before Marvel launched the MCU.
Oh, hello.
But legendary cameo artist Stan Lee, you know, the guy who created most of those heroes, might have some knowledge for us that will make the future very bright. Speaking candidly in 2017, Stan Lee stated that fans shouldn't have to worry about their favorite heroes being at other studios, as Marvel will likely get the rights back sooner or later. The head of Marvel has stated that it's his goal to one day have all the Marvel brands back under the studio control. Could X-Men and Fantastic Four be some of the properties that return for Phase 4? While there's little chance X-Men will make the jump anytime soon, with the Dark Phoenix in production along with Deadpool 2 and X-Force and Gifted and Legion taking on the small screen, the X-Men are doing quite well at Fox. The same can't be said for the Fantastic Four though. Perhaps a 5th Avengers film will feature them?
Wow, this is awesome. Captain America.
A new captain. If you only watch the films and know nothing about the comics, you may want to cover your ears for this one. In the comic books, Captain America actually dies. While it isn't during the Infinity Gauntlet arc, it's during Civil War. It still makes us wonder if Cap is going to meet his demise before this is all over with. It'd make sense both from a narrative point of view and when you look at Chris Evans' contract. So, what comes next? Well, there are two options actually. In the comics, the mantle of Captain America gets passed on despite the fact that Steve Rogers passes away. In one universe, it's his buddy Falcon who picks up the shield.
If you're gonna fight a war, you gotta wear a uniform.
While this would be fun to see, we think it'd likely go to the other candidate on our list. Despite being bros with Falcon, Cap's best friend forever is definitely Bucky Barnes. Even though he's known to many as the Winter Soldier, he assumes the costume and responsibilities of being Captain America after his friend is killed. Seeing as how Sebastian Stan has been in fewer movies than Chris Evans, it would make sense that he transfers over to Phase 4. Nova. Everyone loves the Guardians of the Galaxy, so what are the chances we get a spin-off film by the time Phase 4 rolls into town? We'd say the chances are very high, and the likelihood of Nova being introduced won't surprise us. The Nova Corps, after all, was introduced in the first Guardians movie. Using the Guardians brand name to give us another character that might be more unknown to casual Marvel fans would be a smart move, perhaps a cameo from the team before ushering Nova into the spotlight. Personally, the idea of an intergalactic crime fighter sounds great. We've seen a lot of superhero films lately that deal with saving the day from utmost evil. But what if we dial that back a bit and focus on a detective story set within a world of superb beings? It sounds fresh and original, plus anything to do with the Guardians, however indirect, has us hyped. With Captain Marvel making use of the Skrulls in her film, which is a prequel set in the 1990s, we think they can be used to great effect in space against the Corps and Nova himself. Plus, we need a good old Xandarian hero out there to root for.
This is gonna end well.
Secret Wars. If the Avengers don't throw down with Secret Avengers, then we're sure to get another secret film hitting the big screen. And in all honesty, how do you stop Thanos trying to destroy the universe as we know it? Tall order. So the 2015 adaptation of Secret Wars would be the best way to go, in our opinion. Thanks to the Doctor Strange film, the concept of other realities and dimensions is now a thing in the MCU, setting up Secret Wars quite nicely. While Marvel doesn't have the rights to the Fantastic Four at present, which prevents them from using Doctor Doom, another candidate can easily replace the beloved villain. In fact, there's enough content in Secret Wars that the whole entire conflict can take up multiple films, perhaps even being the underlying thread that ties the 4th phase together. Much how Thanos was the thing that rallied the first 3 phases, however indirectly. For Secret Wars, we hope the whole conflict is much more central, with multiple point-of-view characters getting their time in the spotlight. Plus, the war will give the Infinity Gauntlet a second chance to shine, and considering it's technically the most powerful thing in the Marvel Universe, that's not a bad thing.
Thanks. Well, I could have stuck the landing a little better. It's just a new suit. Wait, it's nothing. Mr. Stark, it's perfect. Thank you.
Spider-Man Homecoming 2. Information on the sequel to Homecoming is scarce at present, but we do know that we'll see him again in his own solo film after the events of the Infinity War. That means Peter Parker's own problems will have to wait a few years. Thankfully, he'll still be a high schooler, as Marvel have stated that they are going to continue the high school dynamic in the Homecoming sequel. With the first two Marvel phases passed in real time, with the exception of the first Avenger, Phase 3 ripped up its formula by telling stories that aren't in the canon order. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 took place months after the events of the first film, making its point in the timeline prior to the events of Civil War. With that in mind, there's no reason to assume that Parker won't still be in high school even though Homecoming 2 will be released in July 24, 2019, just 2 months after the fourth Avengers film rolls out. He may have helped save the universe with his fellow Avengers, but Parker still needs to pass high school. What threats will await him in the future? At this point in time, it's anyone's guess, but we honestly hope Sony and Marvel can play ball and let Tom Hardy's Venom share the screen with Spider-Man.
You've always been weak, you stupid traitor.
Nobody talks to my friends like that.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Guardians of the Galaxy have become household names at Marvel. 10 years ago, they were an obscure name that no one knew except for the most die-hard of Marvel comic readers. Considering that their films were huge box office hits and critically acclaimed, you can bet your raccoon tail that a third volume will be in store. So with the threat of Thanos likely over, what will there be left for the Guardians to do? Despite being the films that have the closest link to the Mad Titan, the Guardians films have been able to stand on their own without tying directly into the MCU at large. There's no reason that this shouldn't continue in the fourth phase. While James Gunn has yet to write down the script for Volume 3, he has commented that the film will not focus on the exploits of Earth, despite the team making a pit stop there during the Avengers films. He also teased that the original comic book lineup for the Guardians may make an appearance in the film, as they appeared in one of the 5 after-credit scenes in Volume 2. While no villain has yet to be announced, wouldn't it be cool if the Guardians faced off against Thanos' love interest, Lady Death herself?
Dope.
And while we're talking about things that we're super stoked on, we've got to mention Vikings War of Clans. Vikings War of Clans resembles top PC strategy games of the 1990s and 2000s, which we were all crazy about. But now it's finally on mobile, so you can easily play it during a 5-minute break at work. Play this game for 5 minutes and see why we're all so addicted to it. With tremendous battles between Western and Eastern coalitions, Vikings War of Clans is an absolute thrill and excitement. We can't believe we've beaten up our enemies so many times. A new massive battle is coming this month, and we need you, yes you. Support our channel. Download Vikings from the links below and get our special bonus of 200 gold for a fast and successful start. We'll see you on the battlefield. Well, there you have it, everyone. Which Marvel film would you like to see made for Phase 4? Do you hope for more new characters or stay with the classics? Should Secret Wars be adapted? Will Venom and Spider-Man ever share the big screen together? Let us know your thoughts and be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to get the latest videos added straight to your playlist. Thanks for watching. Did you guess this as the answer to our emoji question? Well, if you did, you were right. Thanks for playing.